Good evening. Welcome back to 102.7 Shop FM. It's another Wednesday night, so it's time for Nerds of the North. DJ Padawan here.
And DJ Bodobo.
Alright, so we started off our show today with one of our favorite artists. We have Lindsay Sterling.
Yes.
She does have a new album coming out. It'll come out later on this month. We tried to have her single off of it, but we just weren't able to get it in time. Fantastic single, though. Definitely check it out. It's called Beyond the Veil. Very, very nice. Our second song that we got there, this is actually a local band coming from Toronto, Canada. This is War Machine with their song Moving On off their second album. Fantastic group. These guys have a really solid sound to them. Happy to see that there's another metal group out there like this that you can actually understand what they're singing. They're not just screaming incoherently into the microphone. It's fantastic to see. Okay, so for this day, we're going to start you off with some entertainment news, and oh boy, do we ever have a lot of that. Let's see. On Sunday, April the 6th, saw the release of the 4th season premiere of Game of Thrones. Now, according to viewership, and during the 3-hour rerun time slot that this premiere had, they accumulated 8.2 million views. That was enough for the people at HBO. Game of Thrones has been renewed for seasons 5 and 6.
So, when was it that we were talking about that Game of Thrones would end up being a movie?
It was a couple of weeks ago. George R.R. Martin said he'd like to see Game of Thrones finish on the big screen.
Okay. But then we were talking about, or we mentioned something about being able to do the dragons and all the CG and all that. He wants it to be on the. It's
just that the CG is really going to be expensive, and when you're getting to these massive dragons doing their battles, it's going to be a cost-worthy endeavor for a television studio to put out.
Yeah. So
if they can do it on TV, great. But at the same time, you really want to get the size of the dragons across, you need a bigger screen. A bigger sound system.
I just wonder how far they're going to go season-wise before they even try and...
Well, I don't know. This is the 4th season. I believe book 5 just came out.
Okay.
And there's 2 more books left to go. So...
Okay.
If there's any Game of Thrones fans out there and I'm getting information wrong, I apologize. I really haven't sat down to read the books or really pay too much attention to the show yet, so... I'm just reporting on how it's going. I won't mock something that's popular, just because I don't find it my thing. Well, we have a head-to-head feud coming on in Hollywood now. On May the 6th, 2016, 2 blockbuster films were going to be going head-to-head for your patronship. Marvel has released Captain America 3, and DC is putting out Batman vs. Superman. Now, Batman vs. Superman did have this date first. So it seems like this is a direct challenge from Marvel.
This is pretty funny because I know I've seen movies in the past even back down or avoid certain dates that they already kind of previously planned on. I believe Transformers was one of the ones that avoided...
I believe it was also Batman vs. Superman moved to avoid Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember us reporting on one as well early on.
Well, I believe one of them moved to avoid Age of Ultron, and now with Captain America 3 coming out on the same date, it's, there's no other way to put it, really. The gauntlet has been cast. So let's see how well they do. I can say myself personally, I'm going to go to Captain America before I go and see Batman vs. Superman.
After what I've seen now,
Yeah. After Winter Soldier, I want to see Captain America 3.
Yeah. Did you happen to have box office numbers for Winter Soldier yet?
I did not grab the box office numbers for Winter Soldier.
I just took a quick look at Cineplex.com and it said, I don't know what that is based on. Is that like first week or just overall so far?
Usually their first week.
Okay, so I believe it was 96.1 million, I think is what it said.
That's pretty sweet.
Compared to everything else on the list,
That's definitely high. Very, very high. Yeah. As they said, it's the first of the summer blockbusters.
Yeah.
And definitely worth it. Any of you out there who haven't seen it yet, Make sure you sit around through the credits. You have to catch that Easter egg at the end.
Oh yes, highly recommended.
And I was informed there is an Easter egg at the very, very end of the credits.
What do you mean, that we didn't get?
That we didn't stay for.
No.
There's a very, very small snippet.
Didn't we stay for
And it has to do with the Winter Soldier. That's it. I'm not saying more. We do have a interesting horror film coming out later on. It's actually coming out tomorrow. It gets early release. Oculus. This is a horror film based around a cursed mirror, a brother and sister who get tormented by it in childhood, now come back to face the mirror again 20 years later. This sounds really, really interesting. I know it made it through. It was originally at TIFF, and then I think it went to Sundance. So cleared out 2 film festivals, and now it's gotten a wide release.
Yeah, it's good to see movies go through that.
I really want to see it because this now, if it makes it through the film festival and now gets a wide release, it's got to be a pretty decent film.
Yeah.
And it's got Katie Sackhoff in it, and I really like her, so I'll definitely go and see it.
It's good to see a horror movie stand out. Like, there's not too many of those. Like, they come here and there. Hopefully this is one of those.
I have heard rumors that this is very similar to another horror movie out there. I can't remember exactly which horror movie they're referring to.
That's the thing about that genre. It's kind of...
It's the thing about any genre in Hollywood. Sometimes you tend to borrow things from other people.
When you look at all the remakes...
Yes.
Is there a segue there?
There's a remake. There is, but I have to jump the list.
Okay.
To follow with the segue, Battlestar Galactica is getting ready to face the big screen reboot of the franchise. Now, originally Battlestar Galactica was a movie.
Yeah.
Then it got a short-running television series. Then in 2004, we got an absolutely amazing television series, followed by another sequel, followed by, I think, 1 or 2 movies. Short, made-for-TV movies, because Battlestar Galactica, the plan, is a movie that just documents the beginning of the series from the other side of the table. Well, if you're listening out there, there's only one thing I have to say for the Battlestar Galactica movie. Please, please bring back the cast from the 2004 series. They are half, if not more than half, of what made that show so enjoyable. I want Edward James Olmos back. I want James Bamber back. I want Katie Sackhoff back. Bring these people back. You're going to have an amazing, amazing cast. Now, speaking of amazing cast, Nathan Fillion, who's amazing in almost any movie he's ever in. The guy's just got a brilliant personality to him. Nathan Fillion has been teasing that we should all pay very close attention while we watch Guardians of the Galaxy, because we might just spot a familiar face. I don't know if that's saying he's actually got a casted credit, or does he have a cameo in it? Who knows? But he's in another version of the verse. We should go and check it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nathan Fillion and space just kind of fit nicely beside each other. Although if he's wearing a brown trench coat, I'm really going to start questioning about this cameo. Just seems a little bit too perfect. We do have another sequel coming out. This one's for The Karate Kid. And we are getting a sequel to Karate Kid.
Who's starring in it?
Jackie Chan is returning, and Jaden Smith.
Did you see the first one of the remake of the...
I own it, but I haven't seen it. I've been told it's pretty good.
You own it?
I own it.
On what?
I bought it on Blu-ray.
No, and you haven't watched it.
There was a buy 2, get 1 free sale at Microplay, and I just bought a bunch of used Blu-rays.
No.
And Karate Kid was one of them.
Okay, see, I don't disagree. I watched the movie when it was on Netflix for the short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked it. I heard kind of mixed, kind of bad things about it from other people.
I haven't even seen the original Karate Kid.
No, neither have I.
The closest one to that I've seen was the Chuck Norris film Sidekicks.
Yeah.
Which just needs to be left there unsaid.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yes. Now, we do have some Star Wars news.
Oh yes, get ready.
Star Wars #1 has begun filming. The production team is, I believe they're in Tunisia, and they have begun filming. So that's good. They still haven't released a full cast, but they've given a hint. More than a hint. They have confirmed one character. And as I said, Star Wars Episode 7, they have revealed the very first classic character returning. Well, aside from R2-D2, which we covered weeks and weeks ago. So we knew that R2-D2 was going to be there, but now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to that galaxy far, far away. Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. He is back.
I was gonna almost give my attempt at a Chewbacca.
Yeah, I'm not that good at it either.
I don't wanna.
No. That is epic. I can't believe they're getting Peter Mayhew back.
I wish we got a sound bite right there. That would have been...
Do you know how Peter Mayhew got the job?
I believe you've told me this before, but...
They're trying to cast for people of a taller stature in England, which doesn't really have that many people of a taller stature. And here is Peter Mayhew. He was working at a local hospital as an orderly.
Yeah.
And then he gets he sees the casting call, so he goes in. And he's sitting on the couch waiting for George and Brian to come into the room to do or George and Gary, sorry, to come into the room and do the casting. The door opens up and, well, as Peter has said in the interview, I'm raised in England. When someone comes in through the door, you stand up. So he stood up when George Lucas walked in, and George kind of looked up, turned around to Gary Kurtz and said, okay, I think we got him. That was his casting call.
That's pretty good.
That is fantastic. I'm glad you're back, man. I'm really glad you're back. Now, another filmmaker that's made films that I'm very, very interested in from my childhood, Richard Donner. For those of you who might not know, Richard Donner brought us the first Superman film.
Yep.
And in a recent interview, he was asked if he would ever do another comic book movie. His reply was quite interesting. He answered back with, well, if you call Goonies a comic book, then yes, we're making a sequel. Goonies 2.
Yep.
This has been rumored for so many years, and now we have gotten official word from Richard Donner that it is happening.
I can't believe it. I won't believe it until I see
I want to see how many of the original cast they get back in.
That's the thing. I don't understand where...
Because some of these cast members have moved on and gotten pretty good careers out of this.
If they were the parents, if they're going to do another kid's adventure kind of... Which,
I really, really don't want to see Mouth as a parent. That is going to be creepy.
That's the thing. What are you going to do? You're either going to do them as the parents or send a whole bunch of adults, actors that...
Back down through caves and everything?
Yeah.
One of them's used to it. He's been doing it for a couple of years. Come on, he was Samwise. He's used to climbing over rocks.
I know, still though, it's going to be interesting what they're going to do.
Oh, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'd love to see the original cast come back, even if it's just for quick cameos. It makes a lot of sense to bring them back in.
What was the other thing that I seen, or we were talking about as well, was Gremlins?
Yes, actually. The fans are quite split on that one. And I don't know which side of the line I'm going to land on.
Yeah.
I would like to see another Gremlins movie. Do I want to see a reboot? I don't know. My number one fear is, do I want to see the Gremlins CGI'd?
That's the thing. I was just going to say that.
They were practical puppets. I don't know if I want to see them CGI'd.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think there was only one CGI, and that was maybe Spider Spike near the end of Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Or the flying gremlin when he turned to stone.
Yeah, I was going to say, any scene like that, I could see.
So, I don't know, but there's only one thing is known for sure. As much as people are trying to push forward and get this Gremlins movie out into theaters and under production, a Gremlins film will not materialize without the involvement of producer Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steven.
So then,
you've got a grips on this franchise. I'm glad it's not going to fall to the wayside.
if they stick by that, then I could see it. I guess it would be ultimately his decision whether it's all CGI or not. I could see him weighing the options and hopefully...
Oh yeah, I can see him weighing down the options as well.
Because you're either going to... Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see. There's only one thing can tell, and that's time.
Yes.
And I'm impatient. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for our entertainment news. Moving on to movie releases and Blu-rays. Well, the major releases for this week into theaters all are getting a Thursday advance screening. There's a couple of very limited releases coming out into theaters. We might not get them in town, so I'm not going to be focusing on them. But we have 3 films coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, if you want to go and check them out early before the Friday night box office rush. First one being Oculus. Nice little horror movie to sit down there and catch. Second is Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Okay. Is this a sports movie? I wasn't really 100% sure. It sounds like a sports movie.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like sports.
And I know you're excited about this one. Rio 2.
Yay.
Another animated thing.
I did see the first one in theaters, actually, in 3D.
Lovely.
Yeah, hopefully I don't think I'll get dragged to this one.
Well, coming out for Blu-ray this week, yesterday, we had Grudge Match.
No.
Yes, Grudge Match is out.
Actually, I think it's been out on Xbox for the last couple weeks. I noticed it on there.
So now I'm going to get the chance to go and see Stallone and De Niro boxing it up in their old age.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny. I heard the movie was actually quite different from what you were expecting it, but the comedy was there. Yeah. So that's good. The I Love Lucy Ultimate Season 1 edition has come out.
Oh, fantastic. I've been waiting for that for so long.
Yes, I'm sure you have. Stop mocking your co-host.
Listen.
No, I remember watching the reruns when it was on TV. I know there's a lot of fans of it out there, so now that they've gotten a massive collection to come out, great. And usually collections of television series like this, you're going to get a lot of tidbits, side notes, stuff that, well, collectors like me look for. That's not a topic that I look for. Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones, came out. And I'll stop beating around the bush. Ladies and gentlemen, Desolation of Smaug is finally on Blu-ray.
Although we've both been watching it for quite some time now.
Yes, well, we both couldn't wait any longer and purchased a digital copy of it, only to know that we're going to end up buying a physical copy. Now, whether we wait and buy this physical copy with the beautiful collector's statues of the dwarven bookends, or do we try and hold off until October, when you know the special edition is coming out? Do you wait? Do you don't?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That's why I bought the digital version. It'll tie me over. That means I'm going to not have to get it in physical copy. But here's hoping I can actually resist that temptation and wait until August or October, whenever they say it's going to be coming out in special edition. Well, that runs the end of the movie news and entertainment news for today, so it's time to take a music break. Now, last week there was a song we wanted to play. I neglected to put it into the playlist, and I've been hearing about it ever since.
No, you have not.
So now it's time to play that song for you. So to kick off our nostalgic break here on 102.7 Chop FM, there's a little song for you all from the Jungle Book. This is I Wanna Be Like You. Alrighty, welcome back to 102.7 Chop FM and back to the Nerds of the North. That was our nostalgic break. Now, which one of those three earworms from Disney are managing to stick in your head and rip away your focus there?
Yeah, I can almost guarantee at least one of them.
At least one of them's doing it. So we started you off with, from the Jungle Book, I Wanna Be Like You. It's the King Louis song. Moving on after that, we went to The Lion King with Hakuna Matata. And what I have to feel is easily beating out Hakuna Matata for how catchy and quick it stays in your head. That was Let It Go from the recent Disney sensational hit Frozen.
Yeah, I think that's one of those songs I'm going to have to go through and count how many times they say Let It Go. Because I've done that.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
Yeah, I've done that with certain songs, and sometimes it blows your mind how many times they repeat the same thing.
Roxanne.
Roxanne!
Yes, case in point. Well, it's time for video game news, and that's Botobo's department, so take it away, Botobo.
Indeed it is. DJ Botobo here. Video game releases, upcoming video game releases. April 11th, we have Lego The Hobbit.
Yes.
For just about every console out there, excluding old generations. Also on the 11th...
Really? I can't get it for my cartridge Nintendo?
Yeah.
Come on!
I just had to say that because I know you would, of all people, would have to say...
But
really?
I want it for my TurboGrafx 16!
Yeah, I knew you would be one to point that out, so I had to say it. And you found a way around it and said it anyways.
Of course I did.
Also on the 11th is Football Manager Classic 2014 for the PlayStation Vita. So these games I believe are already out for the 360 and PS4 and such. Also, lastly on the 11th is Disney Magical World for the 3DS. It's on the 11th.
Yes, I believe this game is Disney's version of... was it Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
It's fairly similar to that game's style?
Yeah, I could see that.
Interesting.
I might give it a shot, though. I don't... Weasel actually tried to get me into those games.
They're good if you want to boost your achievement score.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. On April 14th, we have Final Fantasy 15, A Realm Reborn. Apparently, this is for the PS4. It is an online MMO. Yes, okay. Yes. So apparently this is already out for PC and PS3. It was out for PS3 on May 27th. I don't know too much about it. I'm not too big on the whole online Final Fantasy. April 15th is a big day for FIFA fans. 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil is out for the PS3 and 360. Which is kind of weird because FIFA 14 is out for next-gen consoles. I don't know. I don't understand why you have to make a FIFA for what year it is and then a FIFA for the World Cup of what year it is. It's kind of silly.
Why do you have to make an NHL for what year it is?
Yeah, but you're not making two NHLs. You're not making a Stanley or NHL
because no one would buy an NHL playoffs division.
You never. No, I would. I would for sure.
Just no, because... you wouldn't because the Leafs would never be in it.
Ah, come on now. Don't be silly.
I'm going to get in trouble for that one.
EA and a studio called Waystone Games has put their new game, Dawngate, into open beta. This is for PC. Okay. I thought it was worth mentioning. Any open beta is worth helping them out, testing servers.
Yep, get in there and break the game.
Yeah, it's mostly what you're there for. Forza 5, which has been slowly getting back up to standards, even though you pretty much have to pay
per car
for every car and some tracks. But here we are. The Long Beach track was revealed, I believe, a couple days ago, and they already have come out and said it is going to be free, and it comes out tomorrow. So that's good right there. Long Beach, track. I actually looked at a video of the preview of it. It looks pretty interesting.
Not bad.
Now, huge news amongst one particular game, Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers. Yes.
Yes.
I actually even have some information about this.
Yeah. The first thing, though, that came out was Yoshi. Yoshi has been confirmed for...
Yoshi's been confirmed, and they've changed his style. He's not the bent-over, hunched-over Yoshi anymore. He now follows what he looks like in the more recent Yoshi games. He's more vertical, more straightly bipedal.
Yep.
So that's going to be quite the interesting character to play.
Yep.
There are some other announced characters that I really got a kick out of seeing. First of all, coming from the new Pokemon X and Y games, we have Greninja.
Yep, which was my starter Pokemon.
Yeah, of course it was. You knew what I was going to pick.
Yeah.
And we have Lucario coming back.
Yeah.
They gave him his Ultra Mega Evolution thing.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Because I remember I was watching the Nintendo Direct, and he just had to put the caption in there. It's like, oh, well, we had certain things demanded of us by our fans, and he sticks up one arm and reaches over and touches where the watch would be, which is exactly what your character does in-game to activate this evolution. Yes, that's a good way to get the teaser across there, my friend. Very well done. But the Pokemon character that they're bringing into the game that I'm super excited for, Charizard.
Yeah.
I have always started with Charmander whenever I get the chance. He is my favorite character by far. And the fact that I now get to play with a Charizard and wipe the floor with everybody, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, so, and then they kind of gave release windows. Winter 2014 for the Wii U.
Yes.
And then apparently this summer for the 3DS.
Yep, 3DS is coming this summer, and it's going to be featuring silky smooth 3D at 60 frames per second.
Sounds pretty good.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then we mentioned multiplayer on... It'll be fun playing. This was always a fun co-op game even, but then multiplayer, any sort of even in the same room multiplayer is always fun with Super Smash Brothers.
Now, did you see the new game type they're calling in called Smash Run?
No.
Smash Run is a 5-minute trial where you have 5 minutes to run around, beat up the enemies that are given to you, and each one of the enemies drops power-ups. Collect as many of them as you want, or certain ones that you're looking for.
Yeah.
By the end of the 5 minutes, however many power-ups you've picked up are the power-ups that are given to your chosen character. Then you go in and engage with the 4 people who participated in Smash Run with their boosted characters. So if you want to go in and strictly get the jumping and the speed, you're going to be really, really fast and be able to jump like a mad person. But
I wonder if they would do, because I know with Mario Kart, they always try to put in a new game mode of some sort.
Yeah, they also did allow custom move sets, but this is for story mode only, not for online play. And they've balanced out the online play. You'll have 2 options. You'll have for fun, which all stages are available, and you'll have items and everything that are allowed to be used. And then you get the for glory, where it's the final fight version of any stage. It's just completely flat. There's no high ground to be used, and no items drop. So it's supposed to be a test of pure skill.
Yeah.
A test of pure skill is still being able to win while there's Pokeballs and laser swords flying everywhere over the map.
Man, that's the thing about the old N64 version. I remember playing that game so much. And not being able to customize games back then in the way you can nowadays. Just with
we had to turn the Pokeballs off.
Well, that's the thing.
It's the one thing we did. We turned Pokeballs off.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some interesting new characters for this. You are going to end up with... they've split Samus and Zero Suit.
Yeah.
They've split Zelda and Sheik. They're each now their own individual characters.
They said they took out character transformation.
Yes, that would be these two that I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I figured.
Because Samus would have a Ultra Blaster that, when she used it, it blew her armor to pieces,
Yeah.
leaving her with Zero Suit, or Zelda would transform into Sheik. So, I like the fact that they're individual characters. That's going to be nice to see.
Yeah. PlayStation Vita Slim, set to release in North America May 6th.
I don't see the point to it. It's kind of like the Wii Mini.
Yeah. But the whole thing we were talking about, though, was the screen.
The screen. Will the screen stack up? To me, the entire selling point of a Vita was the beautiful OLED screen.
Yeah. I want to see them side by side.
And the Slim is just an LED.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do want to do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah. If it's not that big of a deal, then I can see the reasoning.
Extra battery. If it's not that big of a deal and you don't see a graphical drop,
yeah,
then, and I'm talking like color saturations and everything for dropping, then I can see going with the Slim because you get a longer battery life. But if there is the slightest bit of a drop, then if you're using your Vita and you bought it for the graphics, keep your original Vita.
Yeah, that's true. I still plan on buying one of these eventually. So, so if you're in Europe, this has been out since February 7th. This retails for $199, and I believe there is a Borderlands 2 bundle coming up for this when it does reach North America.
Yeah.
Did you see this little piece of news? Bruce Lee is going to be in the new EA UFC game.
I think it's EA Sports.
Yeah, it's EA Sports UFC is what the title of the game is. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, I don't know. I seen that. I thought that was kind of odd. Odd piece of news.
Very odd. I don't know. I've fallen off the UFC bandwagon, so I don't focus on it as much as I used to. Don't get me wrong, when the first UFC game came out, I waited in line to get it because I wanted to play it.
Yep. Pokemon X and Y.
Their sales figures came out, didn't they?
Indeed they did. 12 million copies on the 3DS.
Did a version sell better than another?
Actually, I didn't get that stat. I didn't get that stat. I
always want to see which one of the versions people bought more than the other.
They've released that stat on the older versions, on black and white. I didn't see if they had it. But anyways, this, I believe it's the fastest selling game on the 3DS so far.
Well, look at the lineup that we had to deal with on Sunday.
Yeah, I was man.
People didn't even leave Microplay's parking lot. There was curb gangs forming up for street parties.
Yeah, I couldn't. That blew my mind how many people were actually there for Pokemon. That blew my mind. Anyway, this was after, I remember when the game first came out, it was 4 million copies in 2 days. The first 2 days was 4 million copies. So since then, 12 million copies. That's pretty, and it's going, I'm pretty sure it's catching up to all the older Pokemon's lifetime or rather first year numbers, I believe.
It's fantastic, and I do admit there are going to be a couple more of those cartridges being picked up. I've got a couple of people that it's birthday gift time for them, and I ended up giving one of mine away, and I'm going to pick mine back up because I like the Pokemon games. I like having the collection of them.
Yep. Yeah, I love having. I have them in a stack on my table. Netflix has kind of started 4K streaming. This is House of Cards and a couple of other shows are able to stream in 4K if you have.
And that's going to be a major problem with the trouble Netflix is having with internet service providers.
Yeah, probably. I don't
know if it's in Canada, but some of the providers in the States have been throttling back Netflix video streams.
Canada probably was in on that, considering
I've never had a problem with HD streaming. And it's been running perfectly fine.
Neither have I, really.
So,
that was just another little thing I thought I'd mention there. Microsoft is apparently looking for ways to bring 360 games back to the Xbox One. Or not back, but like to the Xbox One. And the first thing that kind of jumped into my mind is, okay, so you're basically just going to sell us the games that we already have? Okay, like...
I have a feeling that's going to be something they're going to do.
It's basically like the 360 where you could buy original Xbox games, but you have to buy them.
Now, to be fair, the 360 had limited backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Mind you, only half of my Xbox library was backwards compatible. I never got to play Sudeki on my 360. And it really hurt because someone broke someone broke it, but he replaced it. And someone borrowed the Xbox and never gave it back. Yes, you want a true fire way to defeat an Xbox and stop it from working? Have a glass container of Jelly Belly jelly beans fall on it from a 5-foot height.
How many beans were in this?
Oh, it was a full container. It was a full container.
No.
And it fell while the game was spinning, and then all you hear is... whoops.
This last little bit of news here, I've seen it all over every site I've gone onto the past week. Apparently a 5-year-old boy has found a security flaw in Xbox Live. The purchasing system, when you go to purchase something... apparently this 5-year-old accessed his father's account with the wrong password. So the screen where you enter your password for your account, he found some way around it. And I guess, I don't know, it sounds a little weird to me. Like maybe the kid could have said, could have either guessed the password if it was something easy or...
Yeah, there's something to the story that's just not being told.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right to me. But anyways, apparently Microsoft has given this 4-year-old or a 5-year-old 4 free games and a year of Xbox Live. So
for finding a massive bug?
Yeah, it's a little strange.
If it's true, okay, I can see them doing that. This is actually a very common practice.
Yeah. For people to point out...
Well, in the hacking universe, you're called white hats. Hackers who work for the company.
That's the thing. That's how people get jobs. They hack the company. You get a job offer.
You can.
Well, not back in the day. There's movies, I know.
It can work that way. It can also really work the other way.
I'm saying back in the day, not nowadays. Nowadays, you cannot get away with that.
No. Nowadays, you go for the interview first and you say what you could do.
Yes. Yeah.
And you ask, would you like me to demonstrate? You don't just demonstrate.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Yes. So, that all good for your video game news?
That is it this week.
Fantastic. Well, this brings our show to the end for this week. Thank you very much for listening. We will be back again next week with a new batch of songs, new batch of news, and, well, more of us.
More of us?
Always us here. So, we are going to leave you with a song today, so to finish off here. And since Hobbit came out yesterday, Hobbit Part 2, it's only fitting that we play this song.
Indeed.
So, this is good night from us here at 102.7 Chop FM. Sit back, relax, and enjoy I See Fire.